Sure, yeah.
All
Maybe I
right,
can be more present.
sounds good. Okay, so oops, let me jump back here. So what we'll go through is just the process in general of selling solar and what exactly the steps are to get a contract signed as well as get a contract financed. So when you go into a home, you're going to go into who are we, who is Brady, explain to them we're NRG Clean Power. We're a 7th rated solar company in the United States, but we also offer other energy efficient home upgrades. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come out here and speak with you. I think you might have a lot of potential. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me at any time. We'll move at a pace that's comfortable for you. Something light like that. Then what most of us do is you'll give them a diamond certification brochure, which I'll send you in your presentation material. But it's a really nice little pamphlet that just unfolds talking about the company and our outstanding reviews. And you can explain to them what diamond certification is you give your last year's clients to the diamond certification board, and they're going to call them. And if you don't score above a 90% satisfaction rate, then you are not diamond certified. So it's a very nice way of showing that you are who you say you are, and that's been proven and tested. And then what I like to do is take them on a little Google journey and just say, you know what, throughout this process, you're going to have some questions. You maybe have already done your own due diligence. Let's do a quick Google on us. And we'll just simply type in that. If we go here, let's create a new tab. If we just type NRG Clean Power, don't have to type in reviews or anything, just simple enough. We'll see that there's some fantastic reviews. 94 reviews here on Solar Reviews. They have us ranked 7th. We have 62 5-star reviews on Yelp. Diamond certified once again. And Energy Sage also has fantastic reviews. So on and so forth. Now, what's really important about us is, I think, 2 selling points. One, we have a 40-year warranty, and that includes the roof penetration, workmanship, and labor. And then we have a 25-year warranty on all of our materials, so the inverter and the panels. Now, we offer different panels, but something you can cater to one way or another, depending on your sales pitch you're going to need for that individual. They all come with the same 25-year warranty, which is easily defined as it's not going to produce any less than 10% in the first 10 years, essentially, or it'll be at 90% efficiency 10 years after they're installed, and they'll still be at 81% efficiency 25 years after. So if you get into a whole debate with someone, oh, I want to have Panasonic or LG panels because they're slightly more efficient, you can say, I couldn't agree any more with you. They are slightly more efficient. The difference is literally 1%. So is that 1% going to be worth an increase of a couple $1,000s? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe you'll never say that even, because their heart is set on Panasonic, and you're not going to even talk down about Panasonics because that's what they want and that's what you can get them. But nonetheless, it's whatever is going to be unique to that sales pitch. So going back to where we were, we'll then go into some discovery questions and our pitch, so on and so forth. So let's do this here. And I know this is very similar looking to what we did before, but I was able to put some final touches on this. So you'll have your introduction with them. You'll go through these basic points here that I was just touching base on. But what you'll do is you'll be Googling it. You won't be using this PowerPoint, but this is a good reference for you if you want to look at something before you go in the house, or just have this down in the corner. Something if you're feeling kind of lost, or you're got off on a tangent somewhere and you need to get back online. This is a great way to just click through slides and just say, where should I really be at right now talking to them? Any questions so far, Brady?
No, it's pretty clear. Do you take just your smartphone or a tablet, or do you have a desktop with you when you go in? Like, what's
I
the
usually
best
bring
tool
a
you think?
desktop. A desktop. I usually bring a laptop, but some people just use a tablet
Oh yeah,
because that's
desktop.
fine too. Yeah. somewhere to show them some presentation material though, because sometimes people will like to see videos. Um, Solar World has a great video of solar panels getting ice balls shot at them and Ford trucks driving
Yeah,
on
I've
them.
actually seen that.
Yeah, that's a really good one for the skeptics of, I don't know, I think the panels will get better. And you always agree with them, the client's always right. You're like, you're right, they definitely will get better. There's no doubt about that. However, over the past few years, every time it gets a little better, it's not by much, right? We cross that threshold. So it's
Well, and
really
also in 4 years' time, how much money have you saved, and how much peace of mind do you have when your electric bill doesn't rise?
exactly. Exactly. Okay, fantastic. So let's go to the next one then. So now you can kind of see where you should be just in context of what you're trying to pitch to them. So 99% of the time you will be doing photovoltaic as we mentioned before, but if the opportunity arises, you can sell a solar thermal. They really cost us about $5,000 or so to get installed. So ideally you want to sell it for at least 7, maybe even 10, because that would probably be treated as an add-on, just because it's really not that standard as you'd think for people to get it. But people can lose focus on a photovoltaic conversation when they have a pool. So it's best to be able to figure out right off the bat if they're interested in that, so you can include that in your pitch or not. You know what I mean? Having any debris in your pitch will cause you problems, as you know, because then they're going to ask about it, or it's going to create some kind of a little gap that they want some clarity on.
How long does it take for a solar thermal system to pay for itself? And I'm sure it's dependent on how much water they're heating. But if they have say a smaller, medium-sized pool, is there a general
General payback
time
period?
frame with yeah?
Well, on that note, I know it's not your question, but photovoltaic is usually 4 to 7 years. Just keep that in mind. But solar thermal I just treat it more as a luxury, because I tell them, you know what, photovoltaic is essential because it'll pay for itself, and this fixed cost you'll never get rid of. Solar thermal's more of a pleasure and a luxury. So in order for you to really have savings on it, I think you should get solar PV first. Because in order to get solar thermal, it's not always the case, but it's a pretty strong indicator that they could get photovoltaic because there should be enough sunlight exposure. Now, solar thermal doesn't need as much sun exposure to be effective as photovoltaic, but once
Sure.
again, it's somewhat safe to assume if they want solar thermal, then you should be able to sell them photovoltaic. But you very well may go on just a solar thermal lead. Everything's independent each time. Yeah. So this is the bread and butter. This is without a doubt the most powerful page. This is how you sell solar in my mind, because asking these questions in an appropriate manner and with an appropriate pitch and tone is how you get all the information you need. I mean, that's
And
what.
these are the discovery questions, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
I remember you emphasized that the first time we talked. So
Yeah, it's just really crucial because each one of these questions too answer many more little questions within it. So I'd say it would be great to ask them 20 questions, but it starts to get annoying, I'm sure, for them after a little bit of time. So the best thing to do is to ask the most powerful questions that give us the most feedback. So how long have you been in the home? I mean, that really tells you a lot, because it's going to tell you if you should be asking them about other products, perhaps, or what type of people are they? I mean, do they like to move every 5 years? Do they plan on staying there the rest of their life? And that could change what kind of a financing pitch you're going to give them, right? Because you have a ton of financing choices, but to go off on a small tangent here, the most popular ones are 20 years, 12 years, or something very quick, something like a 5 year. So if you know someone likes to move every 5 to 7 years, they really might not find a 20-year pitch all that appealing. So sometimes starting off with the right pitch can really keep a conversation moving in a positive direction, where if you give them 2 or 3 financing options they don't really like, that can slowly pull you away from your goal. But anyway, so just asking a few powerful questions will get you a lot of information. And how long have you been in the house? And do you plan on moving soon? Are one of them, right? Any questions on that or any comments on that?
No, that's pretty clear. These simple targeted questions open up a lot of doors, I think. So it
Right.
looks like you guys have trimmed it down.
Well, let's say at this point you've already been in the house for 10 or 15 minutes, right? Hi, I'm Brady. How you doing? Thanks for having me over. Maybe take your shoes off depending on, if they look like they like to keep their place real nice. And then
Oh, sure, yeah, I usually do.
some interesting tactics as far as sitting placement. It's always best. It's not a deal killer, but just some sociology tips of things that I've learned and some things that I've researched and studied on is if you have a husband and a wife, it's always best to try to sit in the middle of them, because technically when two guys look into each other's eyes for too long, that could be considered aggressive. These are crazy primitive theories and stuff like that, right? But in general, people do seem to be more relaxed when you sit in the middle of them, just because they can both look at your screens more, or you can just bounce your head back and forth, left and right, looking at them, giving them equal attention. Um, and
Yeah,
then
that makes
some,
sense.
yeah, it does make sense. It's one of those weird, simple 1 + 1 = 2 things, but oftentimes we'll overlook things like that. And on that note too,
It's probably an easy lead in with the laptop too, because that makes the most sense. So everybody has a equal view.
exactly. And then you can show them things when they ask a question too. They'll be like, "Well, Brady, what about XYZ thing?" And if you never know the answer, I always just say, "That's a great question. I was just looking at an article on that, or I was just reading up on something about that yesterday. Let me see if I can find it." And then you can just go down your own rabbit hole to find whatever information you need to cater towards what you're talking about. Because it'll happen, man. People get on the internet and they find the craziest things, and they want you to be able to explain it to them. Like people want to know, what is this really ridiculous half photovoltaic, half solar thermal thing that they're making in Chico now. And it's like, it's literally just what it sounds like. It's nothing new. They're just combining it into one thing and advertising it as something different. But when I first got that question, I didn't know what they were talking about. So we had to look through that together. And I said, that's a great question. I was looking at that the other day. Let's find their website and go through it. You know what I mean? And people really respond well to that because people are very, very, very visual. I mean, they're very visual, and people forget that. That's why people love a good salesman and saleswoman, and they love somebody who's informed. And you can close many deals just off of that. But the younger generations really appreciate seeing something. It's just the way it is. And that's why you're going to have a ton of marketing material, man. I mean, I'm going to send you all kinds of things you can use to your disposal, things that will just cater towards what might help you. So each month I'm going to make something that says, oh, if you get solar, you get 15% off a new furnace if you bundle it, right? If you get windows, you get a free window cleaning for the next 2 years. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you all kinds of stuff like that monthly, but with dates that show that it's really relevant, because people like that. People like getting handed a piece of paper that says this is a promotion today only. That's why you should buy it today. And people feel better about making a decision that day because it gives them a reason to justify it, and people like that. You know what I mean?
Sure. They like knowing they made the right decisions. Fear of failure, getting past that and warming up to it.
Exactly. They really do. Okay, fantastic. So then the utility question, you have to get that information, obviously, to size a system one way or another. So once again, this is just a simple way of leading into that. So instead of saying, can I have a utility bill? You always preface it for them to remind themselves of why they need you. So say, have you seen your bill increasing lately? Oh yeah, Brady, I have. Or you know what? It's actually been pretty constant for a while, which is the main reason why I want solar, because I realize I'm going to pay this forever. And then on that note, you say, oh, great. Yeah. Well, when you get a chance, could you grab a bill so we can get your usage for the year? And they'll say, okay, sounds good. And then that's a good opportunity when they're doing that to say, hey, is everybody here that you'd like to be here? is there anyone else that might have some questions they want answered or something like that? Which is going to be huge, is how much time you should spend in the house, because it's inevitable. I mean, you really try to avoid the one-leggers, but it happens. I mean, it really happens.
The what? I'm sorry, avoid the what?
The one-leggers. So a one-legger is when there's only one homeowner there.
Yeah, I got you. And that's what was my question in the email. One of them is, like, are these pre-qualified to where the decision makers are all there, or
Yes.
it's just showing up to whomever, it sounds like?
Yes, no, it's definitely pre-qualified. It's scrubbed twice before you and I get there. So everybody should be there, and it should be very prepared for you to go in there to make a sale. However, people say, oh no, my wife had to run out and get my kids. Or you know what? She's not feeling well, or she just got on a work conference. So you and I are just going to discuss it. So, I mean, just last week.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But just last week I went on a one-legger, and like I told you, I think there was 4 people on the title, and I just did a very calm, cool. Yeah, 4 people on the title. Is him and his wife and his parents, and I was only talking with him. And guess what? They signed a contract 3 days ago, and I had only have ever met with him. But then I talked to his dad on the phone a little bit, and that's why these discovery questions are powerful, because I knew right away what kind of a pitch I had to do. I was like, this guy, in its essence, if you really just stop and think about it, he's just looking to get some information fast. And who can actually do that in this weird situation very well might get the sale. And I got it with him through understanding what I needed to do, and then the right type of financing. That's why there's truly, from these discovery questions, I already know what financing pitch I'm going to use at the end of it. And then everything else in between is just the presentation of just the panels and what other things they might need on their house. But I knew when I asked him, it was just Sean and I. I said, Sean, does your wife want to join us or anything? He said, no, she can't. She's upstairs with the baby. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Are you and her both on the title? And he goes, yes, we are, but so are my parents. And I go, okay, sounds good. So I knew I was going to kind of give him the one-legger pitch. So inform him, get him a strong follow-up that he can look at and he can show them, and then set a second appointment to talk on the phone. So that's what I did. I talked for another 20, 30 minutes, told him some financing choices that they might like, sent him a follow-up while I was in the house, and made him confirm he got that. And it was a Tuesday, I think, and I said, you and I are going to speak Friday morning at 10. Like, I literally have it in my calendar. I'm going to call you, and you're going to let me know how the conversation went with everyone else. How does that sound? And that's what developed into a sale, which you never would have thought have based on me sitting down with a one-legger, right?
Yeah, and you said inform him or inform them.
Yeah, you'll just run through your pitch.
And provide them with information. Lead them whatever information you have, and then set up the next meeting. Exactly.
Yeah. One way or another, you're going to go through your pitch. It's just a matter of how in-depth you want to be, and trying to stay in that house for 3 hours to sell that guy to death. He could be ready to sign, but it's not going to be worth anything for you because not everyone else is ready to sign, perhaps, But sure. But you can still build a beautiful sell right out of it. I mean, Sean and I, we had emotional connection, just had some laughs, and just built from there, because I listened to what he wanted. Like, people will tell you what they want if you just ask the right questions. They're not going to come out and just say it like, Brady, I have a shitty credit score and I'm going bankrupt probably. But you know what? People like that still can get solar, believe it or not. We can get solar for people with reverse mortgages. You know what? Their financing is really their own thing. We're not going to send them down a very bad financing route, but we will sell them solar, and that's as simple as it is, So anyways, to finish off the story with Sean, I learned Sean and them were refinancing. Okay, they were refinancing their mortgage. And refinancing takes generally about 3 to 6 months. Refinancing is like getting your braces out. When you first put them in, they'll tell them you'll have them for a year. But most people have their braces for 2 to 3 years, right? Refinancing is the same way. So he's like, we cannot run our credit score until the financing's done, or the refinancing's done. So that means it was all just shot dead, right? That mean, unless he was paying cash, right? So I go, well, Sean, that's the best thing about us. What we can do is we can take $1,000 deposit cash and write this up as cash. And it's going to take us a few weeks to get the permits and things anyways. And in that month or so that it's going to take for us to get those, your refinancing will be completed. And then we're going to register you for the types of financing we have. They liked one particular option, which I'll show you all the options later, but they liked one of those in particular. And based on just that simple discovery question of, is everyone here that needs to be here? I was able to learn, no, they're not. And then I was able to learn down the road that they're also refinancing, because he told me they're not there. So I asked them what they would think about the solar system. If they were here now, would they say yes? And he said, yeah, they would say yes, but we're going through a refinancing. So I said, ding dong, if I can write this up as a cash deal, I can push it forward. And he almost was ready to push it forward that day and then just asked if they were okay with it. But I said, okay, we can do that if you want. But he seemed a little skeptical. So I said, why don't you, once again, set a second appointment on the phone with me here in 2 days, talk to them about it, and I'm going to give you the proposal, what we just went over, you and I. And he's like, that sounds really good, because I wasn't rushing him and it was moving at his pace. But now he can get a solar system. He can literally feel that solar system it's going to cost him $1,000 cash. That's all. And so that's what we did. And on that note, I remember.
And so then you restructure it. You restructure it once he gets the financing cleared.
That's exactly right. And take that with a grain of. No, please interrupt me as much as you'd like. And you got to take it with a grain of salt. I could tell that. Let's just put it this way. This sounds awful for stereotyping, but it appeared from their home that they had recently bought 7 months earlier that they were going to be able to pay for it one way or another. Right now, if this is like a rundown home, you might not, that might not be the best tactic. You could be setting yourself up for problems down the road. And like I said, that was kind of an advanced tactic anyways. But I'm a firm believer, if you're going to be one of the best salesmen out there, Brady, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm going to tell you how I did it. And then maybe 3 or 4 months down the road, if you're in some situation like that, you'll have at least heard an out, how to handle that,
Yeah.
So anyways, to digress, competition, the fourth question on here, that's an extremely powerful question too, because it tells you really how interested is this person? How much research have they done here, right? Do they literally have other quotes there and they're refusing to tell you that price? It's really going to tell you what mindset they're in. Are they in the discovery phase, or are they if you literally give me the right price and product right now, I'm going to sign up with you, right? So simple enough. Have you received any other quotes? Yeah, I got one from Solar City. Okay, great. Why didn't you move forward with them? Well, I was going to move forward with them, but then they didn't call me back for 2 weeks. Man, that's really unfortunate. Yeah, Solar City's been going through some changes. Tesla and their reviews, they're really not that good because they've had that restructuring, and they're really just having a lot of problems. But with us, you don't have to worry about that. You can call our phone number and someone will answer any time of the day, even in the middle of the night. We have an answering service. So not only
with the first.
Yeah. And so not only are you getting a 24 hours all day long service with us, you're getting the longest warranty. But that's when you go, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's come back. Let's dial it back a little bit. Sorry you had that experience with Solar City, So let's look at your usage now. Because at this point they should have their bill maybe near you and things like that. So do you have a pool, electric vehicle, hot tub? Are you getting that? Do you have any old appliances that we might be able to get in or out? That question in itself, that could roll on for 5 seconds, or it could roll on for 20 minutes, because they're going to tell you about their plan for their pool, or they're going to show you their electric vehicle, or they are going to have old electronics, and you should probably go take a look at them, because that could be a big time saving factor for you down the road. And as you see me run through some of my pitches or some of the situations you'll see yourself in, that will make more sense. But the basic principle is, man, sometimes I need to they might only get approved for $20,000, and you're trying to sell them a $24,000 solar system, and you need to justify that ethically to yourself. Man, if I could only sell them 20,000, I don't want to undersize their system. So what can I do? Well, give them an energy audit. Give them an energy audit. Tell them, hey, put these things on timers. Stop having that run all day. That's going to save you some money right there. And now I know I'm not oversizing your system, and I'm trying to help you save electricity. So I'm trying to get you the best deal I can get you, and I can walk out of your house feeling good about that with my head held high. And that's how we want to do it.
I typically, go ahead. Typically, what do you put on timers besides like maybe a water heater?
I like to do like microwaves, stereos. A lot of people have that kind of stuff plugged in. Printers are a big one. I mean, who's printing things at 3 a.m.? Just weird little things like that might not seem like a big deal, but all that residual, when you add it up, it's like, I'm sure that was costing you every bit of $100 a year, and you might not think about it,
And so you're saying just the basically electric timers that set, and so they turn off those phantom loads in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Yeah, $2 timer at Home Depot. You know what I mean? You can buy a pack of 10 of them for probably $20. Super, super inexpensive. And the thing is I just write these details down in the proposal. So the thing like that is, if they sign up with us, and it's a lot of times I'll just get people new light bulbs if it's easy enough. But I really don't spend but usually 10 minutes on the whole energy audit pitch, unless they're really enjoying it and I can see. Because what you're doing is you're literally giving them something for nothing. Like, you haven't told them a price yet. All you did is introduce yourself. You say, hey, I'm Brady Brittle, and I want to thank you for having me over here. Got a wonderful house. So how long have you lived here? Oh, XYZ. That's great. Have you noticed your bill going up? Yeah, I have. Yeah. Okay. Was there anyone else here you should talk about this? No, it's just us. Okay, sounds good. Have you done it before? Nope, you're my first person. Okay, sounds good. What, do you plan on getting any more electronic items, like a pool or EV or anything?
Hey, are you there? Did we lose each other?